Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Notopia Studio. Today, we're bringing you another fun and useful English conversation. And the topic is something very simple, but also very important for your English learning journey: how to talk about your day.
That's right. It sounds easy, but when you're learning English, you might feel stuck. Like, how do I actually explain what I did today? What phrases should I use? Don't worry. We're going to walk you through it step by step with examples and, of course, some fun.
Exactly. So grab a cup of coffee or tea, sit back, and practice with us. By the end of this podcast, you'll feel more confident talking about your day in English.
All right, let's start at the beginning of the day, the morning. Sarah, how would you usually start describing your morning?
Well, I'd say something like, I woke up at 7 a.m. today. I brushed my teeth, washed my face, and had a quick shower. These are very common morning activities.
Exactly. And notice how simple that is. You don't need complicated grammar. Just use the past tense if you're describing what already happened. Like, I woke up. I had breakfast. I want to work.
Right. And if you want to make it more interesting, you can add details. For example, I had a cup of coffee and some toast for breakfast. Or I listened to music while I got ready for work.
Here's another useful phrase. I was in a rush this morning. It means you were hurrying. So you can say, I was in a rush, so I just grabbed a banana for breakfast.
Yes, and if you want to share your feelings, you could say something like, I woke up feeling tired, or I felt really energetic this morning. Okay, now let's move on to the middle of the day, work or school. This is something we all talk about.
Right. So if someone asks you, how was your day? You might start by saying, I went to work. Simple.
Then you can add details. For example, I had a busy day at work. I answered emails, joined meetings, and worked on a project.
That's a really natural way to describe your tasks. Or if you're in school, you could say, I attended my English class, I studied math, and I had lunch with my friends.
And don't forget, feelings are important here too. You might say, work was stressful today, or school was fun,
Exactly. And if you want to share something exciting, you can add details like, I gave a presentation today and it went really well.
or I learned something new in class that was really interesting.
Now, let's not forget food, one of the best parts of the day.
Absolutely. So you can say things like, I had lunch at home, or I went out with my coworkers for lunch.
Yeah, and you can be specific. I ate pasta, or I tried a new restaurant today.
Here's a useful phrase. I grabbed a quick bite. That means you ate something small and fast.
Ooh, that's a good one. So you could say, I grabbed a quick bite at a sandwich shop before heading back to work.
After lunch, we usually go back to work or classes. So how can we describe that?
Easy. You could say, I finished some tasks, or I attended another meeting.
Or if you're at school, I studied in the library, or I worked on a group project.
And if you had free time, you could say, I went shopping or I met a friend for coffee.
Yes, and here's a nice phrase. I ran some errands. That means you did small tasks like buying groceries or going to the bank.
So you could say, after work, I ran some errands before going home.
Now, let's talk about the evening, probably the most fun part of the day.
Yeah, because that's when people relax. So you can say, I came home from work or I got back from school.
And then describe what you did. I cooked dinner, I watched TV, or I went to the gym.
If you want to sound more natural, add details. For example, I made pasta for dinner or I watched the funny movie with my family.
Here's a good phrase for relaxing. I just chilled at home. That means you relaxed.
Yeah, so you could say, I just chilled at home and watched YouTube videos.
Or I scrolled through social media for an hour. That's very common.
And finally, we can talk about the end of the day, going to bed.
You can say, I went to bed around 11 p.m. Or I fell asleep while reading a book.
Another common phrase is, I was exhausted. That means you were very tired.
So you could say, I was exhausted, so I went to bed early.
And if you want to sound casual, you can say, I crashed as soon as I got home. That means you fell asleep quickly.
All right, let's do a quick role play to show how this works.
Sounds good. I'll ask you, so how was your day?
It was pretty good. I woke up around 7, had some coffee, and went to work. Work was busy today. I had 2 meetings and finished a report. After work, I ran some errands, and then I cooked dinner at home. Later, I just chilled and watched TV. I went to bed around 11.
Perfect. That's a really natural way to describe your day.
So that's it for today's podcast. Now you know how to talk about your day in English.
Remember, keep it simple. Use the past tense, add some details, and share your feelings.
And practice every day, even if it's just a few sentences. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel.
Thanks for joining us on Notopia Studio. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends who are learning English.